You're standing on a rock that has been hit by planets, frozen solid, and nearly wiped clean of all life. Not once, not twice, but 5 separate times. And somehow, life kept coming back. The ground beneath your feet has a story 15 billion years in the making. A story full of cosmic collisions, creatures that ruled for 4 billion years, and an extinction so brutal that 2D of everything alive just vanished overnight. But here is the part nobody talks about. Every single catastrophe that tried to destroy this planet actually made it better. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, the way you look at Earth will never be the same. Let's go back, way back, 32 billion years ago. There was no Earth, no sun, no solar system. Just a massive cold cloud of gas and dust floating in space, silent, dark, and completely unremarkable. Then something triggered it. Scientists believe a nearby supernova, a dying star exploding, sent a shockwave through that cloud. And that shockwave started a chain reaction that would eventually lead to the cloud collapsed under its own gravity, spinning faster and faster, flattening into a disk. At the center, pressure and heat became so extreme that hydrogen atoms began fusing into helium. And just like that, our sun ignited. But the story doesn't stop there. Out on the edges of that spinning disk, leftover material started clumping together. Dust became pebbles. Pebbles became rocks. Rocks became boulders the size of cities. And slowly, over millions of years, those boulders smashed together and merged into planets. Early Earth, it was nothing like what you see today. No oceans, no continents, no atmosphere worth breathing. Just a hellish ball of molten rock being constantly bombarded by asteroids so violent, so chaotic, that scientists literally call this period the Hadean Neon, named after Hades, the underworld, and then Earth got hit by something that changed everything. A Mars-sized planet called Theia slammed into early Earth at roughly 30,000 miles per hour. The impact was so catastrophic that it literally vaporized a chunk of our planet. That debris got blasted into orbit, and gravity pulled it together into what we now call the moon. Without that collision, no moon, no stable tides, no axial tilt that gives us seasons. Life as we know it probably never happens. So the very thing that nearly destroyed us gave us the moon for hundreds of millions of years. Earth was basically a waterless hellscape. But around 25 billion years ago, the planet finally cooled enough for something miraculous to happen. Water vapor, which had been trapped in the atmosphere, began to condense, and it rained and rained and rained for potentially millions of years. Scientists still debate exactly where all Earth's water came from. Some of it may have arrived on comets and asteroids, but the result was the same: a global ocean over nearly the entire planet. And in that ocean, in the deep hydrothermal vents where boiling water meets cold rock, something extraordinary happened. Life appeared. Around 13 billion years ago, the first microscopic organisms emerged, single-celled, simple, but alive. And that changed the trajectory of this entire planet. But here's where it gets really wild. For nearly 1 billion years, life was basically just bacteria, microscopic, invisible, unremarkable. And then around 23 billion years ago, a specific type of bacteria called cyanobacteria evolved the ability to do something no life had ever done before: photosynthesis. They started using sunlight to produce energy, releasing oxygen as a byproduct. Sounds harmless, right? It was actually the first mass extinction event in Earth's history for every organism that had evolved in an oxygen-free environment. This was poison. Oxygen flooded the atmosphere and wiped out massive amounts of life. Scientists call it the Great Oxidation Event, and it nearly ended the whole experiment. But the organisms that survived, they thrived because oxygen-rich air allowed for more complex, more energetic life forms to evolve. Life was leveling up. Here is something that sounds completely insane and is completely true. There was a period, around 30 million years ago, when Earth may have been almost entirely frozen. From the poles to the equator, scientists call it Snowball Earth. And if it really happened the way the evidence suggests, our oceans were covered by glaciers potentially miles thick. How did life survive? Some scientists believe it clustered around hydrothermal vents deep in the ocean, volcanic hotspots that stayed liquid even when everything above froze. But Earth wasn't just changing in temperature, it was literally rearranging itself. The continents, the massive land masses we walk on, aren't fixed. They're drifting on giant tectonic plates, moving about as fast as your fingernails grow. And over billions of years, they've collided, broken apart, and recombined into completely different configurations. Earth's first true supercontinent, Rodinia, existed around 14 billion years ago, one massive landmass before it eventually broke apart. Then came Pangea, the one you've probably heard of in school, which existed around 20 million years ago. One giant landmass containing all of today's continents, surrounded by a single massive ocean. The breakup of Pangea shaped everything. The Amazon rainforest, the Atlantic Ocean, the Himalayas, tectonic forces that started hundreds of millions of years ago are still reshaping our world right now. As you watch this video, now we need to talk about the worst thing that ever happened on this planet. Not the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs, something far worse. About a billion years ago, the Great Dying occurred, also known as the Permian-Triassic extinction event, and scientists estimate it wiped out approximately 40 of all marine species and 30 of all land vertebrates. Almost everything gone. What caused it? Massive volcanic eruptions in what is now Siberia pumped so much carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere that global temperatures spiked. Oceans acidified, and oxygen levels in the sea plummeted. The entire food chain collapsed. It took Earth roughly 5 million years to recover, but again, something survived, and out of that survival came a new world. The stage was now set for the creature that would dominate the next 20 million years. Around 15 million years ago, the first dinosaurs appeared. And for the next 20 million years, they ruled this planet. To put that in perspective, dinosaurs existed for 40 times longer than the gap between them and us. If the entire history of dinosaurs were a single day, humans have only been here for about the last 20 seconds. We're talking about creatures like Argentinosaurus, potentially the largest land animal to ever walk Earth, possibly weighing over 40 tons. Or T-Rex, with a bite force of around 32 pounds per square inch, more powerful than almost any animal ever documented. And then teeny years ago, a rock roughly 70 miles wide, traveling at 13 miles per hour, hit what is now the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. The explosion was estimated at over 40 billion times the energy of the Hiroshima bomb. Debris blocked the sun, global temperatures collapsed. The food chain shattered from the bottom up. 40 of all species on Earth went extinct within a geological instant, including nearly all the non-avian dinosaurs. But not everything died. In the aftermath of that extinction, small, warm-blooded mammals, creatures that had been living in the shadows of dinosaurs for millions of years, suddenly had an entire planet to themselves. They diversified rapidly: whales, horses, primates. And around 20 million years ago, a primate species in Africa started doing something new: walking upright. Sahelanthropus chidensis, one of the earliest known members of the human lineage. Then came Australopithecus around 20 million years ago, walking fully bipedal then. About 70 million years ago, the first stone tools. Around 70,000 years ago, early humans discovered fire. And that changed everything. Cooking food unlocked more calories. Longer days around the fire meant more social interaction, more language, more culture. Our brains began evolving at an accelerated rate. Then between Fine-T Tao and Fine years ago, every other human species went extinct. Neanderthals, Homo erectus, the Denisovans. Only Homo sapiens remained Fine-T. Years ago, the agricultural revolution, humans stopped following food and started growing it. Permanent settlements, civilization. And then just 10 years ago, the Industrial Revolution. We went from some billion people and some to some billion today. We built cities, split the atom, landed on the moon, and connected every human on Earth through a global network in geological time that all happened in the last fraction of a second. So here's the thing about Earth's story that hits different when you really sit with it. Every extinction cleared the way for something greater. Every catastrophe was also a catalyst. The asteroid that hit Theia gave us the moon. The oxygen crisis that poisoned ancient life made complex organisms possible. The extinction of the dinosaurs made us possible. But right now, for the first time in 20 billion years, one species is changing this planet faster than any asteroid, any volcano, any ice age ever did. And that species is us. We're currently in what scientists are calling the sixth mass extinction. Biodiversity is collapsing at a rate 42 side times the natural background rate. Sea levels are rising, temperatures are climbing. The question isn't whether Earth will survive. Earth has survived far worse than us. The question is, will we? If you want to know what Earth's future might actually look like and what science says could happen next, subscribe and follow us.